Yo, what's up, y'all? We here. All right, as usual, I need a quick audio test. Let me know if we are looking good, sounding good. We're on a new setup today, so I'm gonna need some help. Let me know how we looking. So if we could do a quick audio check. Let me know if my music is loud enough or not loud enough. I know some people don't like streaming with music on. I do. Is my voice too loud? Not loud enough? Somebody talk to me in the comment section. Let me know. All right, let's go ahead and turn comments on. All right, let's go all the way to the top. My guy, David Manning, first. Before we can get into today's stream, I need somebody to let me know about audio and video. Let me know. Does it look okay? Does it sound okay? I like to have a little bit of music playing in the background. And I do have an earbud on this side to monitor, which sometimes throws me off because there's a delay. So I'm trying to talk to y'all, but I'm hearing myself delayed in my ear. So sometimes it gets me all tongue-tied. But yeah, let me know. And also at the same time, while we wait for everybody to fill in, I know this was a last-minute stream. Let me know where you're from, okay? And the last video you've watched of mine. Actually, no. Where you from and what camera you rocking? It's about to get good in here today. Now, I'm on a strict deadline today to be off of here by 2 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So, it's 12:32 right now. We got about an hour and a half to talk trash. And I'm going to be honest. The A7S III is dead, bro. We'll be about to talk about it. All right, I'm gonna bring the music up just a little bit. And then let's get the roll call going. I don't know how many people are in here. I don't really care. Let me know where you from and what camera you are using. All right, I see 40 people in here right now already. There's about to be I feel like it's about to be a lot of people here today. But let me know where you from, what camera you rocking. Do it right now. And also shout out to Go Team. Our channel members will be showing up soon. And as you see on screen, I did this last stream, and I wasn't expecting people to participate. So if we hit the super chat goal last stream, I had to do 100 push-ups on stream. Okay, that still stands. So if we hit our super chat goal today, within the next 1 hour, 15 super chats, don't matter the amount, Terry got to do 100 push-ups on screen. I did it last time. I had a crazy pump. All right. So anyways, go ahead. Let me know where you from and what camera you rocking. Then I'll get into housekeeping. And then we just gonna get right into it with today's topic, okay? Because the Sony A7S III, I believe, is chalked. It's over. Finito. I feel like my voice is a little too loud. Let's go ahead and start getting through these comments. And then we'll do roll call, housekeeping, and then we'll get into it. All right. So if you are just joining in, I know last minute stream. Okay. Wasn't planning on going on stream. If I'm honest, yesterday I was having a little moment. I wasn't really feeling confident in myself. You know, I posted 2 videos on my channels. Both of them were outside of what I typically do, but they were passion projects. They died. You know, so my imposter syndrome was messing with me big time yesterday. But anyways, if you're here and you're just joining, welcome. I see a few more people are here. Let me know where you from and what camera you are rocking. Let's go ahead and get started through some of the comments. All right, David Manning, my guy, is already here. My guy. Tech for your needs. Hello there. Tech for your needs. Always supporting the channel. Thank you. Alexander says, I just wanted to buy this camera. You're telling me what? We're about to get into it, bro. We're about to get into it, bro. Oh, man. Super chats are happening already. Y'all gonna make me do these 100 push-ups on stream. I did it last time. Man, my daughter was here too. I was smoked. Anyways, first super chat just happened already, man. Let me get to it. Where was it? All right, we got to put this on the screen. Marco Castro, super chat, $10, contributing to the cause. You know what? Let's go ahead and get housekeeping out the way. All right. While you are putting in what camera you're using and where you from, let's talk about housekeeping. First of all, Marco Castro, thank you for your super chat contribution. I'm gonna address that right now. Super chats are totally not required. Donations are not required. Just you being here for me is enough. And if you do decide that, yo, I'm gonna go ahead and contribute to this channel or become a channel member by hitting the join button next to the subscribe button and joining Go Team, I just can't thank you enough. That money goes to this channel, keeping the lights on, feeding the babies, and I'm always giving back, whether that's, you know, being at Starbucks and paying for the car behind me, or, you know, a lot of times I see homeless people, I buy them food. I always try to give back. So if you contribute, you know, it obviously comes to me and my family, but I also give back all the time. And just know that I really appreciate the fact that you worked hard for your money, and what this channel means is enough for you to want to take money out of your pocket that you worked hard for to contribute to this cause. So thank you very much. Y'all gonna make me do these 100 push-ups. Bro, Cam Mackey. Relax, bro. My shout out to my guy Cam in the building. Shield tax. Oh man, there's about to be some real shilling going on real soon. Shout out to my guy Superchat, Cam Mackey. By the way, Cam is partly responsible for this look. So before we get into the topic today, let's talk about the camera setup. So I'm actually using the Blackmagic Pixis. I mean, full snob mode for a live stream with a Blazar Remus 45mm 1.5 times anamorphic. And these are Cam's lenses. He actually was nice enough, which is crazy because he's a total freaking D-bag. He sent me the whole set for me to use for a while because I don't have no anamorphic lenses. So shout out to Cam Mackey. Today is our first live stream at Anamorphic. All right, let's get into these comments, bro. And then we need to talk about the Sony A7S III and how, in my opinion, it's freaking dead. All right, let's get back to it. A7S III dead, gloves on. Let's freaking go. It's dead. I'm going to tell y'all why I think so in a minute. I don't know what that means. Why is this not taking up the whole screen like it's supposed to? I don't know if I like that. Oh, probably because I need to lock it. All right. No matter what you report today about the A7S III, I will only exchange mine for a new A7S IV. If there is no successor, it will remain in my collection forever. That's a bold statement. That's from Lee. Chanito Pinoy, I hope I said that right, says, we need a Sony A7S IV with 4K 240 and decent 2K 960 frames per second at 2-second burst within trigger mode. We needed to make coffee too. Deontay said A7S III is still a good hybrid camera. Same video quality as the FX3. Takes good pictures also. We're going to talk about all that in a minute. By the way, if you are just joining, make sure you drop where you from and what camera you are using. Do it now. We only got an hour and 20 minutes for this stream, so I got to roll. Let's go. 305 kilobeats, what's happening? All right. Audio and video, okay. From Germany. I was born in Germany. Granted, on a United States military base, but I was there. And one of my daughter's names is Germany. Sounds good, sounds good. Audio and video good, all good. I love to hear this. Everything's great. I love to hear this. By the way, shout out to all the channel members in the chat. Go team in the building. I really appreciate y'all. I saw a few y'all dropped off. It's okay. I understand. But if you want to join this channel, support this channel, hit the join button and join Go Team. We got a lot of stuff coming. Serbia in the house. A7 III, North Carolina, FX3. I must be late to the party. How are you streaming in 4K? Hey, I just got that sauce. Toronto A7 IV. Sweden in the house. FX6, FX3, and FX30. A7 IV. Cleveland, Ohio. Respect. I'm Cleveland, Ohio too, Corey. Well, technically Menor, but we call it all Cleveland, right? Shout out to Cleveland in the building. Boston, Sony ZV-E1. I'm sorry, ZV-1. San Antonio, and I'm rocking the A7S III and the Sony A7R5. Here's my A7R5 right here. Cali, FX3. Maryland, A7S III and FX6. Let's go. Leo, A7S III, A7R5, A9 III, and A1 Mark II. Boy, can I get a loan. Jeez. New York, Nikon Z9. Y'all okay over there? Y'all be mad angry in New York. Another person from Germany. Shout out to Germany in the building. Sony ZV-E1. Here's my ZV-E1 right here. Orlando, A7R5, A7 IV, FX30, bet. LA, A7CR, ZV-E1, FX30, A6700. Let me get a loan. Another New York in the building with a Z9. I got my ZF right here. Oh yeah, I show love to all the camera brands. I do what I want. I ain't exclusive to nobody. Till somebody say, Terry, I got 100,000 for you to not talk about no other cameras on your channel this year. Till then, I'm a camera thought. Again, shout out to Marco for the first super chat of the stream. You see the goal up there. If we hit 15 super chats, Terry owes another 100 push-ups. We did it last stream. New Jersey A7 IV. What's a good camera lens combo for low light video and photo? We're going to talk about that in a minute. The Cybertruck video was dope. Just needed to be put out closer to the, yeah. So here's what's crazy. We filmed that video a year ago. Bruh, production woes, editing woes. Like, you know, it is what it is, man. Hopefully we'll get some sponsors behind it that can really help ignite the series that we want to build. So, Super Shield Team 6 member Cam Mackey, second super chat of the day. My guy. VA, I think that is, A7 IV. I'm American, but I live in Berlin, Germany now. For a dead camera, it still makes me plenty of money. I also use the A7 IV FX3. I like that in you. I like that in you. Hold on, I got an important message. Oh, okay. Yeah, before we get into that, like, it doesn't, use the camera you have. Make money. Hey, chat, watching from New Jersey, shoot with the Nikon ZF. ZF, stand up right here. It's honestly my favorite camera right now. It's not the most capable camera, but it's for sure my favorite camera. I love the ZF. And like Giovanni said, hit the like button. We got, what, close to 70 people in here. I don't see 70 likes. Y'all tripping. We got 1 hour and 16 minutes left. We only got till 2 o'clock p.m. for the stream. I'm trying to get through this. Utah, FX3, A7R5, ZV-E1, S5 2X. Let me get a loan. My S5 2X is in my closet. I love Lumix cameras too. The Sony A7S III died when they came out with the FX3 a few months later. We about to talk about that. Chicago in the house. Another ZV-E1 member, DJ Green. What up? Long-time supporter. I appreciate you. Danny L Films. Nigeria in the house. Man, we done had Nigeria, Sweden, Germany, and one other place. FX3. That camera's goated. Louisville. Lumix lineup. S1H, GH7, GH6, S5, S5 2X, S9, and G1. Hey, Cam Mackey, I think we found our newest Shield Team 6 member. Mr. Mize, or however you say this, #1. Shout out to Lumix, man. Got a lot of their cameras, too. What do you mean the A7S III is dead? It's dead, bro. Oh, you just got yours today? I'm messing with you. Let me just say this before we continue. There's nothing wrong on today, January 28th, 2025, wrong with the A7S III. It is still one of the best cameras ever made. Plenty of people still using them. Still very capable to this day. Arguably, still one of the best cameras out there. Puerto Rico FX30. The Sony A7S III is still a great camera, but I think it is dead because Sony refuses. Ooh, we about to get into them meat and potatoes. So you better quit playing around now. Still rocking the A7S III 4 years later. Shout out to Gary Cantrell, longtime channel supporter. I see you, bro. And shout out to Go Team members. Everybody who's here. If you want to join us, the community, the Discord will probably be up this week. Hit the join button. We'll be talking about, it'll be a safe place for content creators to talk business strategy, brand deals, and how to negotiate them, and all of that stuff. If you want to join, hit the join button. It's right down there. A7 IV in the building, A7R III in the building, another person from Germany. A7R3, A7 III, A6000, A5100, Lumix S5 2X. Good deal. What happened to the minor call? It should, is it not there? Did I mess up and not put it there? Can you shoot me a DM on Instagram? And I will shoot you over a link to sign up for. It should be in the description of this video if I'm not mistaken. If not, just shoot me a DM on Instagram. Which is coming first, A7S III or A7 V? We about to talk about that. My boy Filmed by Fresh in the building. Fresh, what up? The ZF is tough. It's so good, bro. Miami, another ZF. Don't sell it. Do not sell the Nikon ZF. This is going to be a camera that will be sought after so much over the years. I'm telling you right now, do not sell it. If you're bored with it, go find you some vintage glass. You can adapt so many different lenses to the Nikon Z system. Sony lenses, EF lenses, Z lenses, and autofocus and all that stuff still works. Let me tell you what's so dope about the ZF is when you switch it over to manual focus, as long as the lens has contacts on it, it still communicates with the camera, and the camera still does eye tracking and all that stuff in manual. So then when you go to do focus confirmation, because it sees the eye, it punches straight to the eye. It's crazy. Don't sell the ZF. I'm telling you, you will regret it. And there's rumors online that it's getting a significant update soon. I'm just saying. I can't confirm it, but I hear. Arizona A7 III. Courtney FX6, A7 IV, and X106. Nice. Go team in the building. Catching up to the stream at 2x speed. Shout out to everybody from Go Team here. I appreciate y'all. The Discord should be up this week. Manon said, I still rock the A7S III for viewfinder and sunny situations. We about to get into all of that. All right, let's get it. UK A7 IV. Cam said Z6 III is better than the A7S. Ooh. Ooh. What? You know that's not true, Cam. The Z6 III is a monster. Okay, but it's... Anyways. Matt, I'm good, man. I'm blessed. I was down yesterday. Man, last night was one of them nights. I said it a little earlier in the stream, but, you know, the last two videos I uploaded on my channel were passion projects, especially the Cybertruck video with Armando. And they just freaking tanked. And I'm really good with powering through, like, you know, the rough moments and stuff like that. And I'm really good with, like, you know, it is what it is, move on. But sometimes it get to you. And last night it got to me. Imposter syndrome was real last night. I wasn't feeling worthy last night. I'm looking at all of these numbers on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube, you know, 2 places almost at 100K, Instagram at 30, and I'm still sitting here feeling like, bro, what the hell am I doing? So I appreciate all the people who sent comments and messages. You know, I don't post stuff out there for like the pity party. What I try to show is the real side of YouTube and the real side of being a creator, especially a confident creator, that we go through this stuff too. The struggles is the same, man. So, you know, I only post this stuff with hope that me being transparent and somebody seeing that, yo, he feels the same way I feel and he's achieved quote unquote success on YouTube and we struggling with the same thing and he willing to talk about it and overcome it. Maybe I can too. But I definitely appreciate all the kind comments, all that stuff, man. I appreciate that question. A7S III has paid a lot of bills. Is still going strong. Yeah. Rocking A7 III Alpha 1. Also the best OG camera duo to exist. Hey. He ain't lying. Hit the like button, y'all. It's 75 people in here. Hit the freaking like button. Just by the R5C, come over to the dark side. I will rebuke you right now. No. That is the weirdest camera I've ever used. That is that camera reminds me of Two-Faced. It's a photo and cinema camera at the same time, but Canon couldn't figure out a way to mesh them together. So it's literally 2 separate cameras in one with a terrible battery. Very capable, but that camera's weird. A7S III and Ronin 4D user here. Let's go. Just bought a Canon R6 Mark II. Wrong choice. Nope, that camera's fantastic. Still using the G9 GH5 Mark II GH5. Hey, let's go. Everything is an opportunity. Yep. Try changing the title. Yeah, we will. And a lot of times you can't really gauge the success of a video by the first day. Sometimes it does indicate the trajectory. Sometimes videos take off later. And sometimes you do have to do SEO research and, you know, all of that stuff. So we working on it. It's not outside the scope of what any YouTuber goes through. A lot of times we upload videos and we be salty that it didn't perform. And again, we all go through these same thoughts and challenges. I just try to be transparent with mine in hopes that it might motivate somebody else. All right. So I think we got all the roll call through. I'm sorry if I missed anybody or anything. Let's hit housekeeping one more time and then let's get into it. For you guys and gals that just joined, this was a last minute stream. We almost had 100 people in stream. So we're only running this for another hour and 7 minutes. I appreciate everybody who's pulled up. We about to talk about why I believe the Sony A7S III is over with. There's a super chat goal on the screen. Not required, but if we do hit 15 super chats in the next, 30 minutes, Tight Shirt Terry has to do 100 push-ups on the screen. They did it last week on the last live stream. I had to do 100 push-ups. And my daughter was here cheering me on. Not required. If you want to, fine. I appreciate it, but don't feel obligated. And I have usually all of the links to everything I use on this stream in the description. It's still there, but today I'm using a different camera setup. But for you guys and gals that are on Mac, I use ECAMM Live for all of my streaming. It's super easy to use. You don't need to like install all of this hardware and stuff. If you got a Mac, you just download it and you can set up scenes, multiple camera angles, video effects, music. You can bring people on. So if you want to try out ECAMM, there's a free 2-week trial in the description. All right, let's get into the meat and potatoes. And shout out the Go team. All right, my audio is peaking a little bit. I'll adjust it next stream. All right. So the A7S III came out. Let me look it up. I remember when the Sony A7S III came out because I ordered one with my own money. I pre-ordered it. And I remember at the time, I got a discount through Sony. And they told me as soon as you order it, okay, it came out July 28th, 2020. So it's over 4 years old now. I remember when it came out. How much to do 200 push-ups? Cam, you couldn't do 20 push-ups. Let me get on with the story, man. I remember when it first came out. I ordered it. Sony told me, as soon as you order it, send us the order number, and we'll expedite your order. I was like, okay, cool. It was me and Valentina V. All right, we both ordered ours at the same time. Of course, my order somehow got lost. Deprioritized, whatever. And for 2 weeks, I'm watching everybody get the A7S III. And I was one of the first people that ordered it. And I was supposed to have priority through Sony. And I didn't get it till like a month later. It was terrible. Anyways, I was so hyped about the A7S III because it was one of Sony's first cameras that had the newer style body, right? No overheating. It had a crazy sensor in it. It could shoot 4K 120 with only a 1.1 times crop. It shot 4K 60 with no crop. It had an amazing EVF on it, 9 million dots, and like a whole lot of other features, right? So I was like, yo, I need one of these because y'all know I shoot everything in freaking 4K 120. Y'all lucky I can't stream at 4K 120. For real, because I would. But that camera was amazing. It was $3,400, and it took the world by storm. All right. And then right after that, and by the way, it was like 5 years between the A7S II and the A7S III. So everybody was like waiting on it, like really waiting on it, like foaming at the mouth waiting on it. Okay. And so was I. I'm opening a new lens I just got from SUPERCHATS or whatever. It was this 85 millimeter A1.4 for Nikon. Anyways, shortly after that, the FX3 came out. And I did end up selling my A7S III for FX3. Now, at the time, there really wasn't much difference between the two cameras besides body design. And the A7S III still had the EVF, had the bigger body. The FX3 chopped off the EVF, but it did have mountain points, tally lights and stuff everywhere. And initially I was like, you know what? I'm not about to switch. I love my EVF too much. I love being able to look through a viewfinder, even for video. A lot of people don't realize how valuable the viewfinder is shooting outside on the bright day, because we know that Sony monitors are not the best. And being able to peek through that 9 million dot EVF for video outside was crazy. It was one of my favorite things about that camera. On top of it, although it was only 12 megapixels, it still took amazing photos. Well, anyways, I drank the tea. Let me use my tiger teeth. Hold on. Bro, this is like straight jacket packaging. Anyways, I took the bait and I sold my A7S III for the FX3. And honestly, I missed it. For a long time, I missed it. Eventually, I got over it. And then I ended up selling my FX3 for the Sony ZV-E1. And I'm going somewhere with this, y'all. I'm not just talking, all right? So, I got to put that on screen. Yeah. I just want y'all to know, all of you fans of Cam Aki, what he said to me on our last video together. He told me if I wasn't on YouTube, I would be selling used Hellcats. What a racist. By the way, if you didn't check that video out, it was a freaking riot. Go back 2 videos ago on my channel. It's called Trolling YouTubers in the Desert. Hilarious. Anyways. So I ended up selling the FX3 for the ZV-E1 because I'm no longer shooting productions or anything like that. Not doing client work. And the ZV-E1 was just smaller, same image quality as the FX3 and the A7S III, which is why the A7S III was so amazing, is because it had the same cinema quality sensor in it of FX6 and FX9 for a third of the price. Yeah. Yeah. Totally foul. Cam is my boy, man. Love Cam. He just weird. I'm just sick of him wearing like plaid and vest and all that crap. Like, come on, bro. Oh, man. Shout out to Cam. Anyways, so the ZV-E1 has the same sensor as the FX3 and the FX3. Now, the reason I'm bringing these cameras up is because the A7S III came out 4 years and some months ago, right? And the FX3 has gotten so many updates. The ZV-E1 has had plenty of updates, and they share the same sensor. Exactly. And Sony's updated the A7 IV and all of their other cameras except for the Alpha 1 and A7S III. Now, you would think that, yo, Sony not updating the A7S III has got to be for some reason, right? But I do want to give you this. A lot of people think that all Sony cameras and processors are made equal. They're not. For y'all that are into computers, every year Intel has the same chips. They have the i3, the i5, the i7, the i9. And they're all always named the same thing unless you go into the other part of it, like the 77, 900K, etc. But if you just pay attention to the core model numbers, i3, i5, i7, i9, they never change. And Sony is the same way. All of Sony's newer processors are called Bions XR. But that doesn't mean that they're the same processor. Okay, they have the same design and all of that stuff, but they are different in their circuitry and all that stuff. So there's a lot of things, for example, like the ZV-E1 got, that the A7S III just is not capable of. And it was the same idea with the Alpha 1. People were mad that, you know, all these other cameras were getting these new features, but the Alpha 1 wasn't. And a lot of it was actually hardware. It just wasn't freaking capable. So, I'm saying all that to say that the A7S III did not get any significant updates that any of the newer cameras had. And what's strange about it is the A7S III is marketed as Sony's video camera and low light beast. So it's very strange that they also wouldn't give it things like shutter angle and all of that stuff. FX3 got it, right? And I believe I figured it out. Now, this is all what I think. I have no proof of this. Sony didn't tell me anything. For y'all that about to be like, oh, Terry knows something. Shut up. No, I don't. These are my thoughts. I don't see a reason for Sony to come up with the A7S IV. Why, Terry? Well, because of this camera right here, the Sony ZV-E1, and because of the FX3. I'm just calling a spade a spade. Sony, I believe, is pushing everybody who was interested into the A7S line into the ZV line or the FX line. There's too much overlap between those three. All three of them are low light monsters, right? The ZV-E1 is a low light monster. Now, I know it doesn't have like the dual card slots and, you know, advanced body to avoid overheating, because this thing, unless you got the little fan on it, overheats even when it's off. It's ridiculous. It's such a good camera though. And it's got all of the AI stuff in there, and it's much cheaper. It's only $2,200. And the FX3, which is Sony's most popular video camera, even more so than the A7S III, I believe, is still flying off the shelves. They cannot keep freaking FX3s in stock. You want to know why? Well, it's because of us creators. We just hyping it up. But it's also such a good camera. And how many updates has it gotten? It has gotten so many updates, and it's still continuing to get updates. It's still getting things like shutter angle, and they have even more stuff still coming for the FX3, and they can't keep them on the shelf. So if we got two cameras, I'm just in my head thinking how Sony would think, that people are raving over. The ZV-E1 has the AI chip in there. The FX3, even without the AI chip, is still flying off the shelves. What is our incentive for A7S IV? The A7S line was intended to be the low light camera of Sony's lineup. Well, they have the ZV-E1 that has the same exact low light capabilities of the A7S III. The FX3 has the same exact low light capabilities as the A7S III. The FX6 also has the same exact capabilities, excuse me, of the A7S III. So if you think about what could they do with the A7S III, we haven't seen any new sensors, because I don't know if y'all noticed or not, when the camera company decides that we want to come out with a new camera, they have to submit the radios, they have to submit the sensor, all of that stuff for approval way before the camera is even mentioned. We haven't seen Sony register any new sensors. And if they have, it's going to be for the A7 IV, because the A7 IV is their most popular full frame hybrid camera. So there's rumors about the A7 IV, but there's no confirmed news for a new sensor for the A7S IV. So could they maybe come out with an A7S IV that is just the A7S III plus all of Sony's newest, latest, and greatest? I mean, plausible. That's what they just did with the A1 Mark II. They just stuck to the core camera and gave it all of Sony's latest and greatest stuff. They could do that. But again, I just don't see the reason why. Because people are flocking to the FX line and the ZV line. I just don't know. Let's get back to the comments. Yeah, Kofi and Cam was going crazy. I was giving Kofi buckets, though. I gave him some buckets. ZV-E1 is amazing for what I do, but I do wish I had an FX3. I'm telling you, people... And you know, the other thing about the FX3 is being fueled by social media. It's the best looking camera out there. Unless you want to go with a mirrorless camera, right? The FX3 is like the Leica of video cameras. It looks so damn good. I used to take pictures of it just because of how good it looked. That and the FX30. Do I still use Lumix? Absolutely. I have an S5 Mark IIX and an S9. All right, the S is for sensitivity. The A7S III has 4 stops between ISO gains. The S line can continue as the ultimate hybrid, 24 megapixels stacked, ultimate low light, 20 FPS raw, 4K 240, and A9 III without the global shutter. The thing is, will people buy it? I don't think anybody will buy it. And again, Nikon does have a partially stacked 24 megapixel sensor in the Z6 III that's made by Sony. However, it is nowhere near cam, the low light sensitivity, and the dynamic range of the A7S III. The Z6 III dynamic range on paper, especially when you are, I forgot, it was either using mechanical or e-shutter. I think it's worse than mechanical. Has some of the, what's with this right here? I don't know. Anyways, Sony just have it, like they would have to come up with an entirely new sensor. And I don't know if they're willing to, because the sensor out the A7S III, FX3, ZV-E1, FX6 is purpose built for low light, dynamic range, and uncompromised levels of compression, codecs, etc. I just wish they would come out with an open gate. But anyways, it will be an amazing event camera, video camera, journalist camera. I just don't see at this point Sony releasing a Sony A7S IV. I don't. And I'm going to end it with this before I go back to the comments and hear y'all thoughts. Has Sony done anything after people spent $3,500? $3,500 in 4 years to lead you to think that they are still invested in the A7S line. I'll wait. I need some water anyways. I'm parched. I'm going to ask y'all again. Has Sony done anything in the last 4 years since the A7S III came out? It came out 4.5 years ago, bro. I'm sorry, what was the exact date? July 28th. So yeah, of 2020. We are in February of 2025. They completely abandoned the A7S line. Terry, why do you think this? Well, you could arguably say that about the other lines, right? Well, no, you couldn't. That's my point. You can't say that they abandoned the A7 line because they came up with an A7 IV, which is still getting updates. You can't say that they abandoned the FX line because guess what? It's still getting updates. You can't say that Sony abandoned the ZV line because guess what? This just got an update 2 months ago. Every camera that Sony has dropped in the last 4 years, short of the RX cameras and the A7S, has gotten an update. It has. Even the Alpha 1. Oh, okay. The A7S did get a small update not long ago. So maybe I stand corrected on that. But they haven't shown any interest in the A7S line. And that's just my opinion. I could be wrong. Terry's always wrong about stuff. But I'm very curious to know what y'all think. So I'm going to shut up and allow y'all to take 2 minutes. You got 2 minutes, bro and sis, to let me know your thoughts on if the A7S III is dead. While you do that, I also want to say this to address the second comment in this video. Somebody said, man, I had just bought an A7S III. I was thinking about buying one. Should I not buy one? I still think to this day, the A7S III is one of the best cameras out right now. It is still highly capable. The autofocus is still great in it. Although it's not AI assisted, it's still a fantastic autofocus system. It's still got dual card slots. It doesn't overheat. It has an amazing EVF. Has a decent rear display. Dual card slots, full size HDMI. You could use it as a USB webcam. It still takes amazing photos, and it still has a dual base ISO of freaking 800 and 12,800. A usable, 13 to 13 and a half stops of dynamic range. And you could get them used for like $2,500 now. So if that was the camera that you were about to buy, I think it still holds up. Even with the FX3 being buffed. Now, the only thing is the FX3 does give you way more value for your money now. So that's the next thing. Although I do think it's a good buy, with the FX3 now being the camera that it is, and them still costing the same amount. When FX3 first came out, it was easy for me to say, oh man, the FX3 is not really worth getting rid of my A7S for because it only gives me tally lights and freaking mount points. Whereas the A7S had the EVF, the bigger body. But now that conversation is totally different because the FX3 has been truly transformed into a baby cinema camera. And they still have more updates coming to it. And they still cost the same price. So I would say unless you can't afford the FX3, they go with the A7S. But if you can afford it, you should probably get the FX3. All right. Now, I also want to say this. I know I'm saying that the A7S III is dead. It's not dead. I'm talking about the A7S line. People will be using A7 IIIs for the next 10 years. They will, because it's still a fantastic camera. I'm just talking about Sony updating the A7S line, A7S III, not happening. Like, if they were to give the A7S a significant update, I'm sorry, I'm getting tongue-tied. I got a headphone in my ear. It's delayed. It's jacking my speech up. If they were to update the A7S III in a major way, you know what? Who's somebody in the chat? Oh, David Zeus here. What up, David? I'll give David my kidney. I'll ship it to him. I'll send it right to his freaking doorstep. But the fact is they're not. They're not. But that doesn't mean that the A7S is not a capable camera. It's still one of the most capable cameras out there. All right, let me get to the comments. Now, take 2 minutes and let me know what you think. Is the A7S line dead? All right, ZV-E1 is amazing. Do it. All right, so I traded my FX3 for the ZV-E1. I got called a complete idiot by at least 100 people on that video. And that's fair. Because for some people, that trade would be idiotic. If I'm shooting actual like small films and I'm a B cam on a film set, yeah, the ZV-E1 does not work. But if I'm only shooting YouTube videos, it's smaller, the autofocus is better, the built-in vlog mics are actually crazy good, and all the AI stuff is there, and it has better stabilization. The only issue I have with it is it overheats. But I also have this that David Manning gave me that solves the overheating issue. It's a little fan. So I was okay giving up dual card slots, the industrial design, the built-in fan. At the time, I wanted to buy a bike, so I used some of that extra money to put towards the motorcycle. And I still have the ZV-E1, which puts out some of the best video out there still. It's the same sensor from the A7S III and the FX3. Color science is tweaked a little bit. But for me, it was a worthwhile trade. But if you are shooting productions or you take filmmaking seriously, don't do it. FX3 is much better suited because of stuff like Anamorphic D-squeeze, although it's pretty limited. True 24p, 48 96th of a second shutter speeds, Cine EI, so on and so forth. I had to stop talking to my A7S III friends about the FX3 updates. Their eyes would tear up. Still haven't mentioned the shutter angle, but they know. So I put up a reel not too long ago. It's on my Instagram. While I was making fun of A7S III owners when the FX3 got that shutter angle update. Hilarious. Let me see if I can find it real quick. They were so pissed off. Oh, here it is. Oh, they took the audio off? Oh, it ain't even worth it now. Anyways, yeah, A7S users was salty. As a wedding shooter, 24 megapixels is enough. The low light ISO is what will make it great for even event work. The only problem is it takes revenue from all of the other lines. Agreed. Which is why I don't think they will. I think Sony killed it when they dropped the FX3. Then the ZV-E1 put the nail in the coffin. They won't make a new version of the A7S III. I agree. Carl says they killed it with the FX3. I agree. I can never spend $2,000 on a camera that overheats. That's fair. That's totally fair. And you want to know what? I can never spend $2,000 on a camera that has a 4K 60 crop. Different strokes, different folks. Everybody has the things that are important to them. But I respect that because the overheating does piss me off. All of the A7S III users I know want to upgrade to the FX3. Let me be honest with you. Every single one of them, these are facts. Every single A7S III owner has been down the should I switch to the FX3 rabbit hole. Trust me. I was one of them. Every last one of them. That's hilarious. I just feel that with the A9 III going global shutter, there's a whole market of 24 megapixel stacked sensors missing from the line. Unless the A7 V is going 24 megapixel stacked. They will not go backwards with megapixels on the A7 line. So if anything, I would expect them to come up with some type of either faster readout, 33 megapixel sensor. Imagine A7 IV owners who, like, I just don't see them backing off of 33 megapixels. If anything, this is my prediction for the A7 V. I don't think it's going to have a new sensor, which pisses me off. But because it's such a great sensor, it's just so slow. So unless they come up with a faster way of doing it, or they leave it the same, or they come up with a stacked 33 megapixel sensor, I think those are the only three options for the A7 V. The A7S III is not only a good low-light video camera, but also the best low-light photo camera. For this reason alone, an update will be the right decision for Sony. It is a fantastic camera, but so is the FX3 and ZV-E1. They just don't have burst modes. But they're not going to update it for that reason because they never advertise it as a photo camera. Although it is. Gary said it's only dead to me when it stops working. I heard that. I use it not just for video, but also concert photos, and the low light sensitivity gives me an upper hand. Yep. David said most aesthetic live stream. I don't know about that, but I appreciate that. Bought my A7S III used and my FX3 new. Love both of them. Yeah. Hey, how much did you get your A7S III used for? I'm curious. Probably like 25. FX3 is great. I think it might be dead as a video first line and could still have potential under the sensitivity tier. Maybe 3 stops of ISO gain. Probably never have open gate or shutter angle because of the FX. You know, that's a possibility. Canon does have, with the C80, I believe, a 3 dual gain ISO sensor in it, or sensor chain in it, which is crazy. Would Sony do that in the A7S line and potentially take people back away from the hugely successful FX and ZV lines? I can't see them doing that. Maybe on the next FX3 or FX4, but I can't see them coming out with a new A7S that could do that when the ZV-E1 and the FX3 are still selling like freaking hotcakes. Oh, my dude CJ and Devin are FaceTiming, but they're gonna have to wait right now. Actually, let me answer. Hey, I'm kind of streaming right now, buddy.
Are you streaming in Anamorphic?
I'm streaming the Anamorphic. Say what up to the stream. Devin and CJ. Hey, CJ got his bonnet on. Devin got a Michigan hat on, and CJ got a bonnet on. This is crazy.
Hey, man, it's creator like, man.
I'll call y'all back after the stream.
All right, I'm gonna have to pull you up.
All right. FX3 has LUTs. Yes. That, which is, this is crazy. A7S III did not get that. You're proving my point. They did not give it LUT support. They don't care about the A7S line no more. FX3, George in the house. FX30, I'm sorry. I just jumped in and can't stay, but I have to say this is one of the best quality live streams I've seen. Keep up the great content. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate that. I forgot my A7 IV for shooting a wedding, and the A7S III came in clutch. Listen, I'm not saying that the A7S III is not capable. And people act like 12 megapixels is like the worst thing ever. Remember, before we had these high megapixel sensors, they were still using, what, D1s and D2s, Nikons, and shooting weddings for it. Like, journalism photographers were making some of the best pictures ever made with lower megapixel cameras. 12 megapixels is still plenty. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. All right, Polo Reacts said, I think he got his A7S III used for like 2400, but one of the slots doesn't work. I just needed a camera that didn't overheat like the Sony ZV-E10. Fair. Anyway, so those are my reasons why I believe the A7S line is dead. It's over with. Rest in peace. Sony don't give a crap about it. They ain't shown us that they gave a crap about it, and they ain't been gave a crap about it in a long time. They care about every other line. Every other line has gotten updates, new cameras, etc. But the A7S has just been sitting there, waiting and waiting on an update that's never gonna come. because Sony don't care about it no more. They don't care about it. The FX3 and 30 serve as stepping stones into the more expensive cinema line, even more so as the user interface is more and more similar. Not sure what the logical step after A7S III would be. Exactly. With them having the FX3 and the ZV-E1, which image quality wise are exactly the same, one is cheaper and more accessible. One is giving vloggers and content creators a super small body and amazing image quality with some of the best autofocus and AI stuff that you can get out there. And the FX3 is one of the best video cameras ever made. That I just don't, where would they go with the A7 line? A7S line. It used to be about sensitivity. Sony's not going to abandon this 12 megapixel sensor that's in the A7S III, the Sony ZV-E1, FX6, FX9, because it's still too damn good. They could make other cameras with the same, like this camera is one of the best sensors ever made. It is. It really is. For video. It is. They would have to come up with a sensor better than this. And if they did, I can't imagine that they would put it into a dying A7S line. I would imagine if they came out with a better sensor than what the FX3 has. They don't need more megapixels. This is why the sensor in the ZV-E1, FX3, A7S line are so good. That's why they're so fast. That's why the image quality is so, low light performance is so good, because just like the Osmo Pocket, they chose a lower megapixel sensor. So they would have to outdo that sensor. And if they did, why wouldn't they put that and wait to put it in the successor to the highly successful FX3 that they still can't keep on the freaking shelf? I've been saving and waiting for A7S IV. Maybe now I have to keep saving and get an A9 III or A1 Mark II. Honestly, I would probably get an A1 Mark II. The camera is crazy, bro. Okay. The only thing that it doesn't have going for it is the dual gain ISO. Because I think it's like 800 and 2500 or 3200. But aside from that, it shoots 4K 60 uncropped, full 10-bit, full sensor readout. You know what I'm saying? 4K 120, 10% crop. It's got active stabilization, dynamic stabilization, 8K. Like, it's a bomb camera. I don't care what nobody say. I still believe in the A7S IV as a low light photo camera. Leo, it's not gonna happen, bro. Sony don't care about it. They don't care. They don't care. Do you have a video of your live stream setup? Definitely fire, as others have pointed out. Okay, the LUT that I'm using on this is called Drama. This is one of my custom film LUTs that you can get. Link is in the description. But the camera I'm using is the Blackmagic Pixis. I mean, who just put snob on? Oh, that's CJ. Look at this snob. Let me show y'all. Like, let me take a picture of this. Hopefully y'all can see it. Oh, can I switch to my iPhone camera? I wonder if it's gonna give me if it'll let me switch it. Oh, I might have turned that off. All right, let me take a photo of my stream setup. Oh, the lenses on my camera, on my iPhone, are cracked. So I got flares and stuff everywhere. Hold up. Okay. So I don't know if y'all can see this or not, but this is the Blackmagic. Oh, let me turn the brightness down. Will it focus? All right, anyways, I guess that's not working. Okay, so I'm using the Blackmagic Pixis, the DJI LiDAR system, and I'm filming the 6K open gate, okay? But I have a 1.5 times Blazar Anamorphic on there, right? So the Pixis is actually able to give you a de-squeezed image over live stream, which is wild. Most cameras can't do that. So right now, we're in freaking anamorphic. We're in freaking 1.5 times anamorphic. Okay? So I have a whole cinema rig over here that I'm using to live stream. All right? Now, I wouldn't recommend you do this. It's complete overkill. Total debaggery. I don't know if I would recommend this. But you could get a very similar look. Minus the anamorphic, you know. I'll give you some flares real quick. Yeah. See that? Go ahead and turn that up some. Except for that. So, there aren't many cameras that can stream an anamorphic, which is what makes the Blackmagic Pixis so dope. Yeah, this is total D-bag snobbery, bro. Like, I wouldn't recommend you do this. I would not recommend this at all. Okay. But I do appreciate it. And then the streaming software we're using, we about to end the stream. That's why everybody leaving. We was up to what, like close to 100 people? Which is dope for a last minute stream. Shout out to y'all for pulling up. But I'm using ECAMM Live to host all the software, okay? And ECAMM, you can only use it on Mac, but it's way easier to set up than OBS. You can still put like your super chat notifications and all that stuff on there and have separate scenes and music and all that. There's a 2-week trial in my description if you want to try it. The LUT I'm using is from my 8-pack of film LUTs. This one is called Drama. But it also has a lot to do with lighting and stuff like that. Cam was helping me a lot the day before yesterday with like lighting and how to create contrast. So this light over here, because I have the orange light on the wall, okay, this is set to like, I think like 2800 Kelvin. And this light is also set warm. And because I have a real window over here and it's daylight outside, I'm using what is this? A Zhiyun G300, but I have this one set to 5900 Kelvin to mimic or motivate. Okay, the word I learned from Cam is you want to motivate lighting that's already there. So because I have natural daylight coming from this way, I have my light over here set to natural daylight, and because over here I want it like a more, you know, warm. Look, Cam Mackey's back again. We missed our push-up goal. So I'm just experimenting with light and stuff like that. Shout out to Cam Mackey, another super chat from Cam Mackey. So our goal was if we get 15 super chats on stream, I would do 100 push-ups. And that didn't happen this stream. It happened last stream, but not this stream. And that's okay. But also, big shout out to Cam again, because Cam was nice enough, even though he's a total racist D-bag, to send me his set of Blazar Remus lenses for me to use for a while, because I don't have any anamorphics. So had I not got these from Cam, we would have had a basic looking stream. But because of Cam, the stream is lit. The stream is lit, y'all. And then the LUT I'm using, again, is called Drama. And the links to all of this stuff is in the description. So, anyways, those are my reasons why I believe the Sony A7S III is dead. If Sony does come up with a A7S III successor, bro, I told David Zhu, I'll send him one of my kidneys. I will take a kidney out and send it to you if I'm wrong. But I don't think that I'm going to be wrong. at all. I don't think Sony's going to come out with a new one. It makes no sense for them to do that. Anyways, Sony, if you're listening to this stream, a couple things we really want. We want Open Gate. We want it. We need it, Sony. Dropping another cinema camera without Open Gate is diabolical. Cannot happen. Oh, somebody said fresh fade. Appreciate that. Got a couple days ago. Your stream setup is fire. Thank you. Looks amazing. Thank you. I appreciate that. Ooh, here's a good take. Sony FX line needs global shutter ASAP to win the market again. They haven't lost the market. They haven't lost it. Nobody's taking it from them. Global shutter has implications. Now for video, well, let's go back. Sony was not the first camera company with global shutter. They have been using global shutter in cinema cameras for years. And they use them to avoid things like flicker problems and banding and all that other stuff. But they are also extremely expensive. Especially to get one that has cinema levels of dynamic range. Okay. Now the A9 III still has great dynamic range. But it was the first mirrorless hybrid camera to have a global sensor. So if Sony was able to capture the market without global shutter, I wouldn't say that they need to have it to continue because they haven't given up. They haven't given it up yet. I would love to see it, but not at the expense of low light sensitivity or dynamic range. Trying to get all of that into one sensor, bruh, it would cost $70,000. Imagine if we had a 24 megapixel global shutter, right? With the low light sensitivity of the A7S III and the same dynamic range or better of the FX3. The camera will cost $94,000. But I hear you. I recently subscribed. I'm a fan from South Africa. Keep up the work, by the way. Good work. I appreciate that, man. Thank you so much. Y'all know I can't see. I put my old people glasses on. WCAMM. If it is true that Sony will I'm getting tongue-tied again. This is why you shouldn't wear these wireless earbuds while streaming, because there's a delay. It messes me up. If it is true that Sony will no longer produce an A7S IV, why are they still producing the A7S III? I don't know that they're still producing them. I mean, I could be wrong. I'm not saying that they're not selling. I mean, I don't know that either. But I think at this point we can only go by what Sony has shown us. We can speculate all day. What has Sony shown us? They have shown us they are committed to the FX line. How? Constant, continual updates. They've shown us they're committed to the A7 line. How? They keep dropping new cameras. A7 IV still getting updates. They've shown us that they're still committed to the A1 line. We know that they weren't going to get rid of the A1 line. It's the flagship. But what they haven't done is show commitment to two lines. That is the RX line, which there might be a successor coming. I hope there is. But I don't really have any real expectations. They haven't shown us anything to lead us to believe that they are interested in the RX line anymore. They don't even talk about them anymore. Or the A7S line. They don't talk about it anymore. Now, again, I could be wrong. but I'm going by what have they shown us. We can speculate all day. What has Sony shown us? They are showing us they don't care about it. And if I'm wrong, I'll end up being wrong. But you could go do your own research. They not talking about it. There's no new sensors being mentioned, none being registered, nothing like that. Only people talk about the A7S III is the people that still got them, that's pissed off that Sony ain't supporting it no more. Why they pissed off? Because Sony ain't supporting it. So, again, I could be wrong, but I'm just going by what Sony is showing us. And in my opinion, they've shown us. It's been 5 years almost since the last A7S camera that they don't give a crap about it. And if I'm wrong again, I'll send David Zoo my kidney. Anyways, good healthy conversation today, y'all. I just wanted to come on here and talk about this. I've been meaning to talk about it. Shout out to everybody who sent super chats today. I got to get off of here because I have to got to go pick my kids up, and then I'm doing this podcast that I'm actually pretty hyped about. Oh, I meant to answer this question. It's not about the topic, but what lens would you use for cinematic vlogging? And talk ahead, a Sony 24mm or 20mm f1.8. Okay, so cinematic vlogging, if we'll call it that, is not dependent on either of those things. The 24 f1.4 is a very special look, but it doesn't automatically make things cinematic. The 20mm f1.8 it's not as specialized of a look, but it's more of a general purpose wide angle, but that doesn't automatically give you cinematic footage. There's so much more that goes into making a video cinematic. And the way I use it is totally different than the way they use it in the filmmaking world, right? Our idea of cinematic as just regular freelance people making videos is blurry background, slow motion, terrible color grade, slap some transitions on it. Oh, cinematic. That's what we've been taught over the years. The reality is either one of those lenses are perfectly fine. It just depends on if you have the skill and know-how. You have to understand lighting, storytelling, angles, story. All of those things go into something being cinematic. Cinematic is not just a look. And it's also subjective. So I would say you could get busy with any lens if you have the proper know-how and make something cinematic. I will tell you the 24mm f1.4 is a beautiful lens, but it has terrible focus breathing. So if you're gonna be shooting video with it, it is terrible for focus breathing. The 20mm is more controlled. However, if you want to vlog, I don't know if I would recommend either of those because they're not wide enough. If you use Sony cameras, because what you're gonna have to do is turn on active stabilization, which is a 10% crop. So that 24mm turns into like a 26. The 20 turns into like a 22. 22 you can still do. 26 is not wide enough for handheld vlogging. Now, if you want to stick it on a tripod and you think about filming that way, you can make either one of them work. But anyways, so that's the stream today, y'all. Shout out to all of y'all who stayed. Shout out to everybody who donated, super chatted, commented, liked, all of that stuff. I greatly appreciate y'all. If y'all could do me a favor after this video, my Instagram and TikTok are down there. If you could join me on there, I would really appreciate it. And also, I just dropped 3 videos on my channel. And all of these videos were like passion projects, and all of them did terrible. Okay, so hit the last 3 videos. I'll show them to you. One was me testing out the Cybertruck. The second is a video about fitness. The third is how much money I made last year on YouTube. And then the fourth is hanging out with Cam, Kofi, Taylor Jackson, and Brandon in the desert. Go check those out, y'all. I would really appreciate it. Doing great, my man. Doing great, my man. I love that Cybertruck video. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Wish you a great evening with your kids. Thank you very much. So we're going to go ahead and wrap this up, y'all. Much love. I appreciate y'all's support. Hit me on Instagram, TikTok. Go back, check those couple videos out. I appreciate y'all's support so much. I appreciate y'all as a community so much. Shout out to Go Team. We will be starting the Discord and everything this upcoming week. So thank y'all for y'all patience. And until next time, I'm going to go ahead and end this. Peace and chicken grease. Much love, y'all. Peace.